In a pivotal moment for the Democratic Party, Pete Buttigieg has sparked speculation regarding his potential candidacy in the 2028 presidential election during a recent town hall in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. His comments reflect a broader reckoning within the party as it seeks to redefine its identity and reconnect with disillusioned voters following a tumultuous electoral cycle. With the Democratic landscape in flux, Buttigieg's insights may offer a glimpse into the strategies necessary for the party's resurgence. Buttigieg, the former mayor of South Bend, Indiana and Secretary of Transportation under President Joe Biden, addressed a packed audience of over 1,600 attendees where he articulated a need for the party to shift its approach in communicating with the electorate. "We have to connect everything we believe, everything we say, everything we do to everyday life," he asserted, emphasizing the importance of relatable messaging. This sentiment resonates deeply amid ongoing discussions about the Democratic Party's future direction, particularly in light of its recent electoral setbacks, including Biden's withdrawal from the 2024 race after a disappointing debate performance. In a candid reflection, Buttigieg suggested that the Democratic Party might have been better off had Biden chosen not to run for re-election. "Maybe," he remarked. "With the benefit of hindsight, I think most people would agree that that's the case." Buttigieg's comments tap into a growing concern among party members about Biden's age and cognitive health, a topic that has surfaced repeatedly since his campaign began. While Buttigieg stopped short of making direct accusations regarding Biden's mental fitness, his remarks indicate a cautious acknowledgment of the challenges facing the incumbent. As speculation about his own political aspirations looms, Buttigieg carefully navigated questions regarding his future, stating, "I'm not running for anything right now." Instead, he framed his current engagements as an opportunity to campaign for values rather than for specific electoral outcomes, a strategy aimed at fostering dialogue around critical issues. His approach appears calculated to resonate with a broader audience, particularly those who may feel alienated by conventional political rhetoric. During the town hall, Buttigieg took the opportunity to criticize the Trump administration without directly naming the former president, urging attendees to exert peaceful but energetic pressure on their representatives to reject cuts to federal programs and tax breaks benefiting the wealthy. His remarks were met with enthusiasm, showcasing his ability to engage with voters on pressing issues. "There is a parade of horribles emanating from this White House," he stated, tapping into the frustrations felt by many regarding the current political climate. Buttigieg's re-emergence coincides with a broader wave of Democratic figures positioning themselves for potential bids in the 2028 race. Governors and members of Congress across the country are making appearances and addressing voters in key states, aiming to build momentum early. The Democratic Party is at a crossroads, needing to navigate the complexities of regaining trust with working-class voters who previously aligned with Trump's vision of change. As Buttigieg reflects on the party's shortcomings, he acknowledged the need for more proactive policy initiatives, particularly in addressing economic disparities. He criticized the Democratic narrative that the economy was thriving, suggesting that such a stance alienated voters who felt their financial struggles were being overlooked. "How does that go over?" he quipped, likening it to minimizing the frustrations of an angry spouse, an analogy that underscores the disconnect between party leadership and the electorate. The Iowa Republican Party responded to Buttigieg's town hall by highlighting Trump's contributions to Veterans Affairs, framing the discussion as a contrast between the two parties' approaches. This dynamic reflects the heightened stakes as both parties prepare for the upcoming electoral battles. Ultimately, Buttigieg's engagement in Iowa represents a strategic move in the shadow primary landscape of the Democratic Party. His ability to connect with voters on a personal level, coupled with his experience and public service background, positions him as a formidable contender should he choose to run. As the political landscape evolves, the coming months will reveal whether Buttigieg and other Democrats can successfully recalibrate their messages to resonate with an increasingly diverse electorate. Whether he emerges as a leading voice for the party or not, his recent town hall signals a commitment to addressing the core challenges that lie ahead for Democrats as they seek to reclaim their footing in American politics. In a striking reflection of the current political landscape in the United States, a recent poll by APNRC reveals that nearly 6 in 10 adults express pessimism regarding the state of politics in the country, particularly among Democrats. This sentiment reflects a broader sense of disillusionment with political parties and the mechanisms by which leaders are chosen, underscoring a significant divide between Republican and Democratic perspectives. The survey conducted in early May 2025 found that 59% of respondents are skeptical about the overall political climate. With a notable partisan split, 70% of Democrats reported feeling negative about the state of politics compared to 50% of Republicans. Interestingly, while Republicans have shown a slight increase in optimism about their party's future, 55% now feeling hopeful about the GOP, up from 47% last July, Democrats have experienced a sharp decline in their outlook. Only 35% of Democrats now express optimism regarding their party, a stark drop from 57% in the previous year. This pessimism is compounded by concerns over how political leaders are selected. The poll indicates that 40% of adults are dissatisfied with the process of choosing leaders, down from 47% in July 2024, yet it highlights growing unrest among Democrats regarding not just their party but also the broader political system. The findings suggest a critical moment for the Democratic Party as their supporters express increasing discontent with key figures and party leadership. For instance, support for Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer has plummeted to just 35% among Democrats, down from 56% last December. The survey results come at a time when political tensions are palpable, particularly in light of the upcoming midterm elections in 2026. A separate analysis by political scientists has revealed a shift in public sentiment towards expectations for the next congressional elections. Despite historical trends that typically see the incumbent party suffer losses during midterms, many voters currently believe that Republicans will retain control of both the House and Senate. In fact, a recent poll suggests that 58% of respondents expect the Republicans to win a majority in the House, while 57% predict a Republican majority in the Senate. This unexpected optimism for Republicans runs counter to anticipated challenges such as a declining approval rating for President Donald Trump and concerns about the economy. The same poll highlights a prevailing pessimism regarding economic prospects, with 46% of adults expressing concerns about the economy's direction over the next year. Additionally, half of respondents expect Trump's approval ratings to decrease, raising questions about how these factors may influence voter behavior come November 2026. As the political landscape continues to evolve, the implications of these findings are significant. Democrats may need to address the growing discontent within their ranks and reassess their strategies to energize their base. Meanwhile, Republicans appear to be capitalizing on this moment of uncertainty, potentially setting the stage for a robust showing in the midterms. In conclusion, the interplay between voter sentiment, party dynamics, and the political climate will shape the future of American politics. With just over a year until the midterms, both parties must navigate a complex landscape of expectations and realities. As voters grapple with their perceptions of leadership and governance, the upcoming elections will serve as a crucial barometer of the nation's political health. The question remains, will Democrats find a way to rally their base, or will Republicans continue to consolidate their advantages as the electoral cycle unfolds? U.S. Senator Katie Britt of Alabama is taking a bold stance against the current pharmacy benefit structure, advocating for local independent pharmacies during a recent Senate Judiciary Committee hearing. This hearing, titled PBM Power Play, Examining Competition Issues in the Prescription Drug Supply Chain, brought to light significant concerns regarding the practices of pharmacy benefit managers (PBMs) and their detrimental impact on rural healthcare access. In her opening remarks, Senator Britt highlighted alarming statistics concerning the closure of independent pharmacies in Alabama, noting that since 2018 over 225 such establishments have shut their doors. When you're dealing with a state like Alabama, where local independent pharmacies are often the only healthcare provider within 20 or 30 miles, this is absolutely unacceptable, she stated, underscoring the critical role these pharmacies play in rural communities. The senator's concerns are timely as the data indicates a troubling trend that threatens healthcare accessibility in areas heavily reliant on these local services. Britt's inquiries during the hearing focused on the harmful practices of PBMs, including retroactive clawbacks, direct and indirect remuneration (DIR) fees, and below-cost reimbursement rates. She questioned whether these practices are accelerating the loss of rural pharmacies, a sentiment echoed by Dr. Randy McDonough, co-founder of Towncrest Pharmacy. Community pharmacies, when they close up, how the community misses them. These are the people who are trusted within the community, he asserted, reinforcing the notion that the closure of these pharmacies deeply affects local healthcare dynamics. The senator also expressed frustration at the power dynamics within the healthcare system, where patients and employers, the ones ultimately footing the bill, often feel disempowered. She pointed out that a significant portion of Americans, over 164 million, receive health coverage through employer-sponsored insurance. Why do most employers accept a model where intermediaries are incentivized by the size of the rebate rather than the value of the drug to the patient? She asked, illuminating a systemic issue that many employers face due to the dominance of just 3 major PBMs in the market. Dr. Neeraj Sood, a professor at the University of Southern California, responded to Britt's concerns by noting that employers have limited choices in dealing with PBMs, which control approximately 80% of the market. He suggested a shift toward a model that emphasizes direct price reductions rather than rebates, which could enhance transparency and accountability. What is needed is greater transparency so that we know whether they're getting a good deal or not, he added, emphasizing the need for PBMs to act in the best interests of plan members. In closing her questioning, Britt asked Dr. Sheetal Kircher whether the current rebate-driven formula design reflects sound clinical judgment. Kircher responded with a critical view, stating, "Oftentimes we are trying to fight for medications that are nationally guideline accepted that we are still fighting for," suggesting that the system may prioritize financial incentives over patient care. Senator Britt's advocacy for reforming the pharmacy benefit structure is not just about addressing the immediate challenges faced by independent pharmacies, it is about ensuring that all Americans, particularly those in rural areas, have access to essential healthcare services. As the discussion surrounding PBM practices unfolds, the implications of these hearings could lead to significant changes in how pharmacy benefits are managed in the United States. Looking ahead, the fate of independent pharmacies in Alabama and beyond could hinge on the outcomes of these debates. With a growing recognition of the importance of local healthcare providers, stakeholders in the pharmacy sector, including policymakers and community advocates, will need to work collaboratively to devise solutions that enhance accessibility and ensure the sustainability of these vital healthcare resources. As Senator Britt aptly noted, when you're looking at creating opportunity, that opportunity for the American dream, you can't draw on that opportunity without access to care. The future of independent pharmacies may depend on whether this call to action resonates among lawmakers and the public alike. In a significant political development, Sanjia Dunung, an alumna of Northwestern University, has declared her candidacy for Illinois' 8th Congressional District. This district, which includes a swath of Chicago's suburbs, has been a focal point for many political debates, particularly around economic issues, healthcare, and education. Dunung's announcement, made public in a news release earlier this week, signals her commitment to addressing what she perceives as a decline in the American dream. Dunung, who graduated from Northwestern in 1986, brings with her a unique perspective shaped by her background. Born in India, she immigrated to the United States at the age of 6 and grew up in Des Plaines, a community included in the congressional district she aims to represent. A successful small business owner and published author of 17 books, including a young adult novel, Dunung has also served on notable boards such as the National Small Business Association and the Truman Center for National Policy. Her extensive involvement in various organizations underscores her commitment to public service. In her announcement, Dunung articulated a vision for change, stating, "I'm running for Congress because the promise of the American dream is under threat. People are tired of career politicians who fail to deliver meaningful results." Her campaign is positioned as a response to the economic challenges facing many Americans, with a focus on fresh, responsible ideas aimed at navigating what she describes as economic chaos and uncertainty. Dunung's platform highlights several key priorities: the protection of Social Security and Medicare support for military families and veterans, affordable healthcare and education, and the safeguarding of reproductive freedoms. She emphasizes that her personal experiences have shaped her understanding of the American dream, asserting, "My life was made in America. This campaign was made in America. It could not have happened anywhere else." The political landscape in Illinois is becoming increasingly competitive, with several notable figures announcing their candidacies for various positions. Dunung's entry into the race adds another layer of complexity as she joins a field that will likely be defined by debates on economic reform, healthcare accessibility, and social issues. As the election cycle progresses, it will be interesting to observe how Dunung's campaign develops and how her background as a business owner and immigrant influences her approach to policymaking. Her candidacy not only reflects a growing trend of diverse voices seeking political office, but also underscores the urgent need for dialogue around the future of the American dream in a rapidly changing socioeconomic landscape. As voters prepare for the upcoming elections, Dunung's campaign could very well become a pivotal part of the conversation surrounding the direction of Illinois and, by extension, the nation. As the Supreme Court gears up to hear arguments on a contentious birthright citizenship case on Thursday, the stakes have never been higher for the Trump administration's immigration agenda. The case not only questions the legality of President Donald Trump's executive order aimed at curtailing citizenship for children born to non-citizens, but also delves into the broader implications of judicial authority over presidential actions. Legal experts predict that while the administration's specific citizenship order may ultimately be deemed unconstitutional, the real crux of the matter lies in the power of judges to issue nationwide injunctions that halt executive policies. At the heart of the case is Trump's plan to limit birthright citizenship, a right long established under the 14th Amendment, to only those born to at least one U.S. citizen or permanent resident parent. Legal scholars, including Rachel Rosenblum from Northwestern University, argue that this reinterpretation of the Constitution not only contradicts over a century of established precedent, most notably the Supreme Court's ruling in United States v. Wong Kim Ark, but also poses a radical departure from the principles of citizenship that the 14th Amendment was designed to protect. This order is blatantly unconstitutional, she asserts, reinforcing the view that Trump's administration is attempting to make unprecedented changes to birthright citizenship that would set a dangerous legal precedent. The Supreme Court, now with a conservative 6-3 majority that includes 3 Trump appointees, will not directly assess the constitutionality of the executive order. Instead, it will scrutinize the authority of lower court judges who issued universal injunctions, preventing the executive order from taking effect while litigation unfolds. This legal maneuver has become a flashpoint in the ongoing battle between the Trump administration and the judicial branch, with the administration arguing that such injunctions undermine presidential power. A Justice Department official remarked, "Universal injunctions issued by district court judges fundamentally thwart the president's ability to implement his agenda." Trump has faced considerable judicial pushback during his presidency, with 39 universal injunctions issued during his second term alone. These rulings have blocked numerous policies, from immigration reforms to federal funding cuts, and the administration's appeal seeks to limit the scope of these injunctions to only apply to individual plaintiffs or specific states. If successful, this could permit the administration to partially enforce the citizenship policy even as litigation continues. The implications of this case extend beyond immigration policy. Legal experts warn that curtailing the power of judges to issue nationwide injunctions could significantly weaken the judiciary's ability to act as a check on executive overreach. If you literally have to bring separate cases for every single plaintiff, you are eliminating the ability of courts to declare what the law is and protect people, noted Colorado Attorney General Phil Weiser. The potential ruling could set a precedent that not only affects the Trump administration but also future administrations regardless of party affiliation. In the lead-up to this high-stakes hearing, the court's internal divisions have become increasingly apparent. Justices have expressed a range of opinions on the validity of universal injunctions, with some like Justice Elena Kagan warning against the concentration of power in the hands of individual district judges. Conversely, others, including Justice Neil Gorsuch, have suggested that such injunctions may be patently unworkable. As the arguments unfold, the outcome remains uncertain but carries a weighty significance, perhaps even more so than the specific policies at play. Should the court side with the Trump administration, it could open the door to a patchwork of citizenship laws across the country, creating confusion over the status of American-born children based on parental citizenship. Conversely, a ruling against the administration could reaffirm the judiciary's role in safeguarding constitutional rights against executive actions. This case serves as a critical juncture in the ongoing dialogue about executive power, judicial authority, and the fundamental rights enshrined in the Constitution. As the nation watches closely, the Supreme Court's decision will not only shape the future of immigration policy but also redefine the balance of power between the branches of government. With implications that echo far beyond the courtroom, this case could ultimately alter the landscape of American citizenship and the rights that accompany it for generations to come.